Goodbye Christopher Robin is the tale of how Arthur A.A. Milne came up with the Winnie the Pooh stories. This was a man who survived through World War I and had some pretty heavy psychological scarring, what we today would probably call post-traumatic stress disorder. So he shipped his family off to the countryside in the hopes to get some peace and start writing again. Whilst there, he was kind of forced, due to certain circumstances, to spend a lot of time alone with his son. And in that time, he saw his son's imagination come alive, and it sparked his imagination, which is how he came up with these characters. This film's directed by Simon Curtis. I've seen one of his films prior to this, which is Woman in Gold. I thought it was a pretty decent film, nothing spectacular, but it was pretty solid stuff. I've got to say, he really ups his game here. This is an outstanding film. It's a PG and the trailers for it kind of paint it as something that's light and fluffy, but I think it's anything but. I think despite the PG rating, they deal with some pretty heavy issues here, particularly the whole post-traumatic stress disorder element, and also this idea of fame and how it kind of infects the family and the damage that it does to the son, this Christopher Robin. This kid became someone that people would recognise in the street as the kid from the story, you know? They didn't see him as him, they didn't see him as Milne, they saw him as Robin, Christopher Robin. It was both a positive and a negative in equal measure, because on the one side, it kind of destroyed the relationship between this boy and his father for much of his life, that is. But on the positive side, that story that came out of that family drama inspired millions of people. I think the way that Curtis handles that, the way he deals with these themes, is particularly inspired. I don't mind saying that there were several times, particularly towards the end of this film, that I got really tearful, quite emotional indeed. A lot of that is down to the performances. A staggering performance from Domhnall Gleeson, who kind of portrays this man as someone who's pretty icy, kind of glued up. You feel like it's maybe a bit of a defence mechanism after coming back from the war. He's someone who's shut a part of himself in, but he's still quite warm as well. On the flip side to that, he's still a gentle human being, someone who cares deeply for other people. Will Tilston, who plays the 8-year-old version of Christopher Robin as well, because we do get to see him when he's a bit older. Both actors do a great job, but particularly this young lad, Wilson, he has a really great chemistry with Domhnall Gleeson, and I think that's key to making this film work, because they spend so much time on screen together. But I really buy into their relationship as father and son, even when there's the tough times and the good times. And that's one of the things that I like about this film overall, is the fact that it doesn't shy away from painting these people sometimes in a negative light. They're not perfect. They weren't perfect human beings, and the film isn't afraid to show that. Kelly Macdonald is also particularly good here as the live-in nanny. She's the kind of surrogate mother in many ways. Margot Robbie plays the mother of Christopher Robin, but she's quite detached. She's someone who cares quite a lot about fame and riches, I think. She comes from high society, and when you look at the culture she lives in, you kind of understand where a lot of that comes from. You get the sense that she does truly love her son, but she doesn't always go about showing it in the best way. So Kelly Macdonald, who plays this Nana, is the one that the son gravitates to. Christopher Robin kind of looks to her in many ways as the mother figure, and it cuts him deeply at times during the movie when things happen to her. To me, this is a deeply affecting film about the cost of war and the price of fame, and I was, as I say, deeply moved by it. I give it a 4.5 out of 5. But what about you? Have you seen Goodbye Christopher Robin? If so, please comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on it. Until next time, crack it.